I am genuinely thrilled right now that we have this majestic Florida Panthers historic run to talk about with former Phoenix Suns front office person Amin El-Hassan and former Cleveland Browns receiver
let's get into it.
Andrew Hawkins. Your team, Roy, Mike, and Chris Cody, is the best postseason thing on the road there has been over 3 years. There's no such thing as another team that's been better going into somebody else's arena and snatching away things. Carolina being good at defense and Florida not caring about that and putting up 5 and 6 goals a game in their place and making them change goalies, making their coach answer the question when he's asked, is your team fragile? He says, I don't know. Hawk, you tell me, if you're 1-31 Browns, if the coach was asked, is my team fragile, and his answer was, I don't know, how's that one going over in the locker room?
Well, first off, I wasn't a part of the 1-31 Browns in its entirety. I was a part of the 1-15 Browns.
Just half.
I was half of it.
Yeah.
And must I say the winning half of that?
Yep, the better half.
We add that in there as well.
Is there
It is the better half.
Yeah,
better half.
Is there? Okay.
One season had a win, the other one didn't.
Yep.
Okay.
Doubled the win total.
More
Wait
than
a minute.
double.
That's not math. That's
Infinite.
right.
Yes.
You need to talk to my math friends.
Also, 6x the win total. Whatever we want to do. There.
Feels
We
like
could-
double.
We could throw it all on there.
Infinite amount of extra wins is what you
Yeah.
got.
If he said if you asked my 1-15 coach if our team was fragile after going 1-15, and he said I don't know, I would say thank you for saying that.
Put it on the poll, Juju, please. Does 1 feel like double of 0?
Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. I hear him chat from the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. We came for one man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put him in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man so tough, but mans keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
I'll run the folks off who don't want their hockey in a second because I do.
Why?
I do want to talk about the Panthers, and there's something specific I want to talk about with the Panthers because they are better than the team that won the championship. It does not mean they will win the championship, but when I tell you they're 8-2 on the road this postseason with a plus-minus on goals of plus 27 through 10 road games, it has no precedent in the league. This is all supposed to be harder than this. And when I've told you through 3 rounds I'm scared of everybody, it's because you should be when everyone is even and you're headed into something as random as the postseason where a goalie can beat you. But what they're doing in the postseason has no precedent in being able to go on the road and just ravage people. They won the championship last year. They didn't do that. They did not do that.
Well, they didn't have to.
Well,
they had home ice. This year is a little different.
No. They had to play on the road, and they were not overwhelming on the road when they had to. I ask you, Hawk, you've played in hostile places.
Yeah.
Hockey playoffs are harder on the road. No one's ever been 8-2 with a goal differential of 27. It's never happened before in all the time that ice has existed.
Wow.
I hear you, and I know what you're saying.
Hold on, that's a long time.
We need to turn our barn into a road barn. Is that what you're saying? Start booing our own players?
What? I'm saying overwhelming on the road is exactly what you want if you're a team that comes into the playoffs and isn't one of the top seeds.
You could cherry pick them being good on the road. Last year, you could cherry pick that they were good at home. They can beat you any number of ways. They can go in the mud with these teams that want to turn games into rock fights and be better at it than them. Edmonton is a bit of a concern if it is Edmonton. If you're getting into a track meet up and down the ice, Florida's speed isn't quite there, but they showed last year after they can figure those teams out too and beat them. This is one of the greatest runs a franchise has had in the history of the sport. They only have one trophy to show for it. We'll see. But in the modern era, they are the fourth team to pull this off. Go to 3 consecutive Cup finals.
What are you smiling about,
They were throwing up images behind Mike of various Panthers. First of all, like Florida Panthers holding this trophy, and then other Panthers. And then one of them was a Transformer. And I don't know why this Transformer counts as a Panther.
I think it's known as a panther. It's a panther of some sort, is it not? It must be.
But a big Transformers fan. I don't remember Panther being in Transformers. Maybe I could be wrong. I could be corrected. But what?
They are robots in disguise.
They are.
I just
More
like
than
the
we
idea of Chris's road barn at home. So what, do you want like one section of fans that are specifically dedicated to heckling the Panthers to try to get under their skin and make them play more like they're on the road?
I'm just with Dan. The last few weeks, this team just something happens on the road, and we just got to switch something up at home. The vibes at home, they're just not the same. I'm so much more confident at my local water at the bright side watching a game on TV than I am at the barn.
Did you just want to say watering hole and got scared?
No,
because
absolutely, he wanted to give somebody some shine.
Yeah, I was going to say where I was last night.
I'm with all you guys. Now seems like the perfect time to change something.
Minor penalty, 2 minutes, rambling.
That's me?
Yeah, it's you. Your local water, and then you just did a promo, an ad for, you wanted the local establishment to get some love? Yeah, you get out of here.
Dan, I just want to point out on the DraftKings Sportsbook app, the line was on Jeremy being the first penalty of the day. So anyone who bet not Jeremy, you win.
Yeah, that was 11 straight shows where I had been the first penalty. So real upset here.
It's like minus 3,000.
I had a ticket for Amin, and when he started going on that Transformer bit, I was like, I'm about to cash.
Get me the information, please, on Transformers. The thing that I wanted to get to before, though, the hockey, and I know I will run you off with the hockey, and I do not care because we have not had something this excellent around here.
Excellence is a little hockey.
Thank you.
Get it?
In sports.
Come on.
He thinks he's great at everything. He is great at many things athletically, but he's obsessed with 2 things. One, he's obsessed with flag football because if I were as quick as him, I too would be obsessed with flag football. I'd want to play against everybody. But because that seat, I've accused Stugotz of having Dunning-Kruger, which is someone who believes that they are excellent at everything, even if they don't have a lot of proof that they are excellent at those things. And Hawk, at 42 years old, is telling me that he is thinking about, and he has not announced this publicly.
Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Now the whole world is going to know what my plans are at 42.
Would you like to tell them, or would you like me to
Well,
tell
we're already
them?
down this road now. You got to finish it out.
Also, Dunning-Kruger sounds like a middle reliever for the Royals from like
It does.
85.
It does.
Yeah. Off
Absolutely.
speed. Keeps you off balance. Weird wind up. Are you trying to go to the Olympics?
I didn't say I was trying to go to the Olympics. I said I think I could.
Hawk, let me tell you something. As the only person here who has any Olympic experience,
Please give me some
some
mentorship here.
it is absolutely. If you have the opportunity, you gotta go for it.
You gotta go for it.
What are the downside? Put all the chips in the middle of the table.
Why
see
not?
just give it a try.
What's the worst
You don't
that
wanna live.
happens?
You don't want to live old and graying and think, like, man, I could have won
That
an
1
Olympic
year.
medal. Yeah, and it said I got scared because the Le Batard Show guys were making fun of me.
That's a great point because here I will be 42. I'm not 42 now. Right now I'm
yet.
39.
Not yet.
So I'm in my 30s, my late 30s, my latest 30. I'm in my latest 30. And I don't work out very often,
You work out enough though.
but I work out enough.
Enough.
And if I feel like if I can really put the pedal to the metal, there would be a chance.
Well, surely you're not going for 42-year-old sprinter. You must be going in one of the, like, you're not going for
Flag football.
Flag football. What?
Football,
Okay,
man.
well,
What are you new here?
No.
Keep up. You had him on the pommel horse, did you?
You think that I'm the
Winter
idiot.
Olympics?
Wait, I just want to be clear on this miscommunication.
Okay.
Cool runnings.
You guys think that I'm the idiot because he might think that he could be in the Olympics in any category.
Wow.
You think I've got that wrong in overestimating what his arrogance
Wow.
or confidence might be athletically?
Yes.
Yes.
Could be good at archery. To answer
you.
your question.
Thank you.
Yes, it was
I think
very
there is-
clearly flag football because we would just assume the rest of the world is going to be pretty terrible at it, and we can actually win the gold with a 42-year-old Andrew Hawkins out there being wide receiver 1.
Thank you so much. That's exactly what my thought process is.
Hawk, I have a very controversial question. for
Okay.
you.
Shoot
Let's
it.
just assume, because we're getting a lot of rumblings from the flag football players saying, hey,
Why are you dressed like an 80s rapper?
well, I'm a
Can we address that
I'm
first?
a Panther. This
Okay,
is
Panther.
what-
Got
yeah,
it.
Panthers
That's the
won.
Panther you went with. All right.
He likes to do that without it ever being explained. He's been doing this artwork for many years where he comes in and wears something and hopes no one asks, and then four people get what he was
Oh,
doing.
not the
God,
guy
it's
for
a
that, baby.
wow. When I said one person tweet me like, "Were you doing this?" and I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh my god, it's so funny." I'm like, "That's right."
Win.
But to the point, right? Let's just assume because the flag football players are making a lot of noise. Like, hey, they didn't want NFL players up in here. They want. They said we worked hard to make the sport legitimate, and now at the cusp, we're going to take it away from us. Would you consider suiting up for our neighbors to the north?
For Canada?
Yeah, like if the flag football people had their way and say, no, this is our thing. Team USA is going straight flag football players. Would you
Would I
consider?
commit the treason?
I'll go another way. Not just the treason of that. Hold on. Let me go
Okay.
another way because I told the story
Damn
recently.
good question.
I think I'm going to ask you a better one.
Oh,
Okay.
well,
All right.
Dunning-Kruger.
So I was going to say, it looks like a couple of us have Dunning-Kruger.
Well, but Dunning-Kruger is when you have an ability or the thought that you have a skill you don't have.
Yeah.
Asking questions.
Yeah, well, I would say flag football, but I digress.
Well,
Continue.
I thought it was all of the Olympics, though. That's why I
Okay.
accuse you. Like
Yeah, I got
you don't have Dunning-Kruger for thinking you could be in the Olympics in flag football.
Got it.
I diagnosed you with Dunning-Kruger because I thought
you thought I was going to go on the 100-meter dash.
Which
Got
again,
it.
total operator error from Dan there.
Thank you.
It was obvious. The rest of the world bad at flag football. We're good. Throw out 42-year-old Andrew Hawkins.
Right. Come on now.
Again,
Power
I
walking.
feel like I can be forgiven for overestimating that he had more
That I
confidence
overestimate
than
myself. Overestimating my
I
overestimation.
mean, that's pretty bold, dude. Would you play for another country if you were eligible?
I just asked that.
That's- he
question.
does ask that.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get to that.
Steve Martin.
No, but hold on.
I'm trying to get to the
but
answer.
I've got the question. If you let me ask it and stopped.
It's a better question he's got, guys. Clear out.
I told you guys the story of when it is that I was introduced to Qatar or Qatar as a country. First time I saw it was at the Olympics. It was weightlifting, and Qatar was trying to launder all of the things that it was trying to launder by getting the Bulgarian weightlifters to represent their country. And those Bulgarian weightlifters all fled the Olympic Village with diarrhea because they were all steroiding. And so the steroid-addled Bulgarian lifters were representing that country
Go on.
while cheating. The question to you is, if I could get you international fame as a flag football star,
Okay.
would you sell your soul to a country that has all sorts of human rights issues in exchange for that fame?
Is money attached to the fame?
Yes.
How
of
much
course.
money?
Oil money.
Oil money. Okay.
They take care of you.
I think it would be a discussion. No, I'm kidding. I would not sell my soul for like a discussion.
Counterpoint.
It would have to be a guaranteed contract.
There you go. Okay, guaranteed we're good. Because as a counterpoint, this country going to have some human rights violations of its own that we don't like.
We always think we're talking about that. I think we've reached consensus back here. Worst question.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a.
Dunning-Kruger.
You threw in human rights. Just overly complicated.
It was such a fun
We were going to
hypothetical.
probably get a yes
Why
if
would
you
you
framed
do
it
that?
another way.
He
But
would
no,
have
it's like
gone
human
to
rights.
Canada.
No,
We need to be
right
better.
there.
This close to playing for the Canadian
We were on the verge
Olympic
of
flag
treason.
football
Yeah,
team.
that's right there.
Because
Well,
also
3
I-
years, that still might be
He played in
USA.
Canada.
Lost your
I played
fastball.
in Canada. I lived in
They
Montreal.
could
It would
give
be
him-
an easy. It would be a good story.
Absolutely.
Thus, the reason to make it a more difficult decision because you chose the easy. Of course, I'll do the traitorous thing to
You
be in
didn't
Canada.
even give me a number. I'm a
I
businessman.
said oil
Dan.
money. I said
Oil money is, I don't.
You gotta put
I
some.
need some
zeros
money.
on
Put
it.
some
It's
zeros on that
complicated.
thing, man.
Would you line up for the Dominican Republic if they came?
They
like,
do
hey,
not
you
have
want to
the
be an
money.
Olympian?
They
Take
don't
a-
have.
yeah, I definitely do the DR.
What's for like an all expenses paid trip? Or
Yeah,
what
like
are you doing it for?
a cruise for me and my family.
Well, because like you're working on whatever the sports version of the EGOT is, right?
Right. Yeah.
you,
that's,
you got a lot of interest.
if I can get an Olympic gold medal to add to that thing,
Oh my gosh.
you talk about Dunning-Kruger.
There's
Goodness
nothing like
gracious.
it, Hawk. I could tell you, someone who's won an Olympic gold medal. There's nothing
Yes,
like
there's
it.
nothing like it.
Nothing like it.
Premium. I do think I can play in the Olympics, though. I went and watched some film. So after those comments came out from the flag football players, and they're great football players. Don't get me
them.
wrong. Salute to the USA national flag football team.
They're on the record saying that NFL guys wouldn't be better at what it is that they're doing, right?
Yeah, and I don't agree with that. But I think their sentiment is more we don't need them. And that is true because America is where football is born. We obviously are the experts at flag football, even for those who aren't as athletically and skill-wise gifted as the NFL players. But I liken it to the 3-on-3 team that came in next to last place in the Olympics. Now, there's a bunch of rules of why the NBA players aren't there, but I would even say go get former NBA players, and that team does a lot better in the Olympics than it did, which was led by Jimmy Fredette, who got hurt. But still, it's like, yeah, why are we messing around here?
Jimmer Fredette, that's a fine. But I'd like to
Sorry.
ask you, how about open tryouts? Right? Like you guys are better than us? Cool. Prove it.
Yeah.
Open competition.
I think that's where I'll thrive. I think that's
Oh, my God.
that's how I'll make the team.
Imagine him running
we
around.
do one-on-ones?
Come on.
Bro,
you think
come
a
on,
flag football player could keep up with this guy?
Bro, I'm telling you,
Like-
I get it. I understand.
When's the last
guys.
time you tested your quick?
Yeah, ladder drills.
Last time I tested my quick. So like 3 weeks ago, there's a kid, high school kid that I'm like, I think you have potential. I matched him up with another quarterback that's going to college to go take him and run routes so I can get a look at him. The other receiver didn't show up, so I jumped out there. And I'm like,
Like riding a bicycle, right?
I still got it.
Oh, my God.
Goddamn. Your boy still got the change of direction.
2011 all over
That was
again.
like 3 weeks ago, man.
Sort of the opposite thing happened with me where I'm going to shock you guys by telling you this. For the first time, and I'm going to say about 15 years, I played basketball the other day.
No
way.
No way.
Yeah, just one-on-one against a 17-year-old.
Oh,
That
no.
was a bad idea, though.
But I did win,
Okay.
but
Was it their first time?
he was terrible, and so was I. Like, I did not have the experience that you had where I felt good about beating the 17-year-old. All I did was, I hope no one sees me and recognizes me playing the 17-year-old and sees how terrible I am now.
It's like, so you understand the rules, right? You take this ball, you got to keep dribbling. What dribbling is when you bounce it off the ground with one hand. If you put two, that's a penalty.
Hawk, you missed the first statement, which is, welcome to America.
On Memorial Day, I went to go see Mission Impossible. Now, my tradition is to get out of my car and sprint full speed to the
Yeah.
movie theater. I always
Okay.
do that any Mission Impossible movie. that
Your
I do.
tradition.
That is my tradition. For the last 6 movies, I've done that. Go to the theater, get out of my car, full sprint.
Do you videotape it? Like put it on social?
No,
It's
this is
just like a.
no. This is just for me.
It's
It's just for me.
ridiculous. That's a ridiculous thing.
I keep hoping that someone's going to jump in and we can have a nice little moment. Doesn't happen. Anyways, my asshole just fell out.
Okay.
I lost it. It fell on the floor. It's there in Tamiami if you want it.
If you want it.
How old are you?
39. Also
Oh,
my
no.
latest 30.
Latest
wow.
30. Yep, the last one.
Dan, I need some of the details of this basketball game. Are we at an outdoor court? Are you flop sweating? Who is this 17-year-old?
was
How did you
outdoor.
come to play
It was
each other
out-
in basketball?
Outdoor?
It was
You're
outdoor.
mad.
Well, it wasn't this
In this
hot.
heat?
It was 3 weeks ago, and the heat
It's still
just got
May,
Same
brother.
day as Hawk.
Is it the court on the beach, or are we talking like a driveway
It's
court?
on the beach.
Okay, so you got the It's still hot, bro.
No, it wasn't that hot. It was fine. The heat was not the problem. It was the game.
Okay.
Game.
The moving
game.
around.
The moving around was
Who
a
challenged
problem.
who?
The age.
Picturing you out there with the ball in your arms.
Do you check it? Do you check it?
Yes.
Gotta check
coming
it.
out with the throwing the ball like, hey, little ones, and he throws it hard at the kid. And
Sweatband and goggles, or just the sweatband?
Wristbands.
I'm going to guess that the kid actually asked you if you wanted to play one-on-one.
He did.
Of course.
Yes. I was just shooting. I was just
Yep.
there
Doing
to-
drills.
Come on. If you haven't played in 15 years, you're not going to.
Yeah, you're not,
Great story
you're
for
not
this kid.
looking for that.
So hold
for
on.
that smoke.
Recognize you?
Hold on, you were already out there just getting some J's up?
Yes.
So you were warmed up.
Ball is life.
All his life. I mean, that's one thing we can all agree
What
on.
inspired that? Is that something you regularly do?
Was it your ball?
It was my ball. You guys have a lot of questions. one way to
better
exercise that
than
I
you.
enjoy is just sort of running full court, layups, jump shots, just running back and forth full court instead of just
like
running,
that.
jogging empty. I'm
that's good.
throwing in some shots.
Like
Baby
Kurt
hooks.
Russell in an Escape from L.A. Just full court, run up, take a jumper, come back.
No, that's a good workout. I'm going to be on
That's
Dan's
joyful.
side here. That's better than just jogging because that gets boring and you get mentally you want to quit. You're like, this is over.
Little game.
You give yourself a little task, a little hoop. It's like I'm building skill as well as getting the run in.
Somebody missed an opportunity though to just catch that and like put it on social media. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I was afraid of that. Once I started shooting and missing, I became afraid of that. I checked Mike.
Jimmy,
when
like
you
pump-
say when you asked the question, did he know who you were? I was looking for that recognition because if he did, I would not have been playing against him.
Yeah, but did you see his cell phone and where it was set up? Was it like laying somewhere,
Well,
potentially
he
recording him?
lost. But he
lost.
He
Okay.
lost. I took him out like 11-4 or something.
You
Make it take
hold
it.
on. You think that he's not going to go back and edit it and just have his 4 buckets and you bricking over and over
There
again?
is no way to edit this, and they have not made the intelligence artificial enough to make any of this look good. I assure you. All of this would be embarrassing to me if anyone in the world saw it. But when I got home, Valerie, I beat a 17-year-old
That's
11-4.
Oh man, what an ego stroke that must be.
Yeah.
How'd you
Impressing
do
your
it?
wife.
Low post? You went
Yeah.
to work?
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
Use that body.
That's how you do
Use
it.
that body.
Little bow?
You left nothing to chance.
Chicken
you threw
wing, little
a
chicken
child
wing.
into the block.
It's not a child. It's a grown teenager. Teenager.
grown
You gotta teach these
teenager.
kids, man.
Like
You
to
gotta
pull
teach
the
them.
chair.
Grown
Tony.
You sound like a prosecutor. It's a little black kid.
One of
a
my-
grown teenager.
Indicted for murder.
That's right.
Try him as an adult when you get in the
That's right.
post.
It was. I don't remember. It was many years ago, but I think his name was Tracy McGrady. The thing about all of it that is embarrassing to me is just whatever it is you were versus what you are. One of my favorite questions to ask on Highly Questionable was to ask athletes, when did you stop playing against your oldest son? And the answer's always the first time he beat me.
Yeah.
So LeBron's just going to keep going forever, huh?
Goodness gracious, man.
LeBron's going to be 84 still.
Do you
Still got it.
understand that mindset as both an athlete who likes
Yeah.
physical contact and someone you'd run up the score on a child? would you
I
not?
would. I have. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm above that. I think when it's hard, it's good. So I put that pressure on my kid to let him know, hey, there's no easy buckets out here. You know?
How old is your oldest?
He's 13.
Okay, so I got 14-year-old, and my 14-year-old has gotten close, and every single time you got to put it full throttle
Man.
and all types of old man strength, like, just knocking him aside, put him up.
It's getting close because he's really coming into his athletic self. Like last year, I could beat him in a race still. I haven't raced him yet this year. It's on the docket, but
I've retired from
He's
that.
in the 11s now, and 11s in the 100. As a 13-year-old,
Dude,
is pretty damn
you
fast.
You just got to stop racing. You got to do other things.
I'm okay with losing. It's like a rite of passage. I would say I'm different, and I want my son to beat me. Like that's going to be a proud moment for me when my son just gives me the Usain Bolt look as we cross the finish line. I'm going to be like just a slow clap, teary-eyed, like you're ready.
Now, it's we've done this before, but it's been a few years. We did like the Fatrick chewing derivatives, but
Tracy McGravy.
yeah, we've done that before, but it's been a couple of years. We got Paul Gorge already, so in the chat, if you want to name Dan as a basketball player, Shane Gillis-Alexander as a layup.
This is the one, Mike. We got to do new players, right? So let's make a rule. It's got to be players last 5 years since COVID.
Well, it can't be any more Dirk Nowitzki.
No.
It can't be any more Patrick Chewing.
Yeah, next gen.
2000 draft class and up.
Someone just said obese Toppin.
There you go. I like that.
Tyrese Halliburger.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're cooking right now. What else you got?
Hold on, man.
You like that?
Yes, obese Toppin. Yes, that's right. That's right. Obese Toppin is what they hit me with, and you threw your head back with
Oh, my
laughter.
gosh, man.
Your. I just looked to my left, and one of your teeth was sparkling and made a dinging sound at how much you were enjoying laughing at obese Toppin.
That is comedic genius, Dan, and you
each
gotta
one more.
applaud it.
The overriding point.
One more.
I cheated. He's pre-2020. Sorry.
But it's fresh.
It is fresh.
It's a good.
Each one more.
Oh, man.
Look at how happy he is. This is as happy as I've ever seen him. Speaking of which,
Tyler Yeatle.
That was just.
Waylon Brunson.
Waylon Brunson, I like that.
We haven't even gotten to the chat yet. These are just coming to us.
This is just off the dome in studio.
Ham Adebayo.
TJ McDonald's.
It's funny because he's fat.
That's a layup, too. That's a layup.
Way to go, chat.
Oh, man.
speaking of McDonald's, Hawkins is here to tell you that the chicken tender's wildly underrated.
Oh, man. If you haven't.
I'm skeptical.
No,
Why are you scared?
Are you talking about the McCrispy strips?
Oh, my gosh.
Are you in on this?
I had one, and it was bad. Not for me. It was not crispy.
I also, same.
It was not. It was like we have a group chat. Like no one's had a good experience with this.
Oh,
You're the
wow.
first good experience. In fact, if you look at social media to McDonald's, whenever they talk about the McCrispy strips, they get just torched. Social media hates this thing. However, we'll say if it's just simply a vessel for the sauce that they made for this, that's fine.
They
The
got new
sauce is
sauces.
great.
They got new sauces.
Oh yeah.
They got new sauces.
For this
I
one.
just expected it to be like a different shaped chicken nugget.
That's
and
what
it
I think.
wasn't. I
Everything
think
at
just the
McDonald's
fact that it was different was like, oh, okay, McDonald's, I see you shaking it up a bit. Right? I see you trying to get in your bag a little bit. Somebody was in the lab cooking up something new for the new generation.
You remember the chicken selects, though, from like 15, 20 years ago?
Yeah, yeah, I remember
They
the
were actually
selects.
crispy.
Yeah.
These say crispy in the name, and my biggest problem with it is it
wasn't
crispy.
Mine was crispy.
Man, you got
Maybe
lucky.
they had been
He likes
sitting
it.
under the burner the whole time.
You got lucky because that is the overwhelming like feedback on this menu item is that
I'm a
it
fan.
says crispy in the name. It's not crispy.
Did you get it drive-through, delivery, or in-store?
Drive-through.
Did you eat immediately?
Immediately. I know better. In fact, it was so not crispy that I'm like, I should let this sit.
Wow.
Oh, that's bad. That's a McDonald's. Like, what McDonald's are you eating at?
That one, the one on
I love
117th
it.
ain't great.
Okay,
but-
that's
but
where
What
it
kind of
is.
follow-up
It's-
question
no,
is
but-
that?
That's a
If
great.
you've been to the 117th one,
It's a
been to the
great
117th, they're not good.
It's a great one. I'll tell you
Terrible
why, Dan.
question.
Real McDonald's eaters know that that's a great question.
There are good McDonald's and there's
Oh
bad
my
McDonald's.
God.
I got
yeah,
this. I got
absolutely, yeah.
absolutely.
Good locations
This is a
and
bad
bad
one.
locations.
This was a bad one.
Absolutely.
Of all people, I expect you to know this, Dan.
Absolutely. Hakeem Olajuwon?
Yeah, you can't get a name like Obese Toppin.
I believe that the question would generally be good, and I agree with your premise that there are good McDonald's and bad McDonald's. You asking on an international show for someone on the air to stop and give us the address to the McDonald's
Wild.
makes it a shitty question.
No, this one's bad. If you've been to this one on 117th, you know.
Right, but say it as, was this a good one or a bad one? You said, which one is that
Correct.
again?
Correct.
Which street is that on?
real-
I know
Lucas
them
knows.
all, bro. I am a. Do you know how much money I've dumped into McDonald's in my life?
The one by the Caballero Woodlawn.
Yes, of course.
It's a
Everyone
bad
knows
one.
you don't stop there, especially after 11 p.m.
They
for like the
haven't
late
even-
night menu.
They haven't even redone it.
Dude,
It still looks like a 1990s ass McDonald's.
I miss those.
It's the new franchise model that they have, man. It sucks. But anyway, go ahead.
It is fine that you feel all of these things and that you are the McDonald's expert that you say you are. I believe you. But the narcissism in you is a little bit breathtaking when you're the only one, when you get the answer to that, that will be entertained by the answer to that when we are entertaining more people around here than just you.
I want everyone in the audience to know not to go to that McDonald's. So
Don't.
it's like I'm giving information to our listeners. Like if you try the McChicken crispy chippity things, do not go
Way to
to
fight
that
through it.
location.
You're giving this information, though no one agrees with you on your assessment. Everyone is violently against what it is that you're saying. You're the only one saying that because you're talking about the same thing. It's not just a chicken tender. You're
Okay.
talking about a very specific thing that you've had recently that you're the only one here saying it's amazing while the others say it's not any good.
Because who needs validation? Is that a you thing? That's not a me thing.
Well, that is how
You
things
know what I'm
become
saying?
popular, though. That is, and so you're
Counterculture.
I'm trying to get you to
it.
argue on behalf of what is a contrary opinion, and you're telling me I'm a rebel, I'm a renegade. I don't think other
No,
things
no,
that
no,
things
no.
that other people think.
I'm giving my honest opinion. And for those that trust my opinion, as a McDonald's expert who have consumed way too many chicken nuggets and double cheeseburgers and triple cheeseburgers, you probably didn't even know they had a triple cheeseburger. Did you?
Oh, I did.
Okay.
Oh, I did.
Of course you did. I am telling you, you can trust another McDonald's connoisseur in that the McCrispy chicken strips at McDonald's are tasty. Take with that what you want.
At the good
Mike
McDonald's.
has his opinion. I'm trying to let him understand. Maybe try at another location, the one you picked.
Yeah, I knew what I was getting into at that location. It wasn't my
Yes.
choice. And
How are the fries?
they need salt. It's not a good
Okay,
location.
so that's-
It's a
yeah.
bad location.
Which
Not
one was
judging.
it again?
All right, there's one way to do this. Let's put out a poll and ask for people only to vote if they've had the McCrispy strips.
Yeah.
That way we don't have a tainted pool.
There you
So
go.
if only vote if you've had the McCrispy strips, good or bad.
As an eating experience, I would say there's very little that's going to soil an eating experience worse than I expected it to be crispy and it was soggy.
Yeah, it's a bad one.
Fred Van Eat.
Thikola Jokic.
Fed Van Eat would be better there.
Fed Van Eat is a good one. That is a.
Back to the hockey game last night, Roy. The Carolina Panthers, and this is a weird
Hurricanes.
thing. I did that again. The Carolina Hurricanes, and it's a weird thing to say, this time they were swept.
This one definitely felt more like a sweep. Actually, after this series, I kind of got what Brenda Moore said 2 years ago. Because that one didn't feel as much of a sweep, even though it was, as this one did. Because this one was way more of an ass
Are you
kicking.
guys with me on this team is better than last year's team? It may not win the championship, but it's better. It's deeper, therefore it is better.
Deeper usually does mean better. I would say the goalie's been way more consistent this year. Bob's probably had his best postseason so far as a Florida Panther. We'll find out. They could actually be better than last year and not lift the cup because Edmonton is better. Although
I think that's what's going to happen, actually.
the Hyman injury, even though Hyman's kind of like on a downward trajectory, certainly from where
He's
he
hurt.
was
He's out for the
last year.
season.
He's out for the season. I know. I was getting there.
Okay.
Yeah, I led with Hyman injury. He's not going to be there. That was a guy that in his past was a 50 goal scorer. So we'll see how that reshapes them. But man, a pissed off McDavid. They've done the suffering. They look like an absolute wagon this year. Ultimately, they have the weight of a nation on their shoulders, and they have a goalie situation that at any moment can turn on a dime in the bad direction. It'll be a great series if indeed that does happen. We'll find out tonight if Dallas can put up a fight at home.
Michael Porterhouse Jr.
The Carter Verhaeghe goal and the goal creation by Alexander Barkov. That's world class right there.
Roy,
He's
I'm so happy.
inhaled.
I'm so happy you highlighted that play. That is going to go in the montage when Sasha Barkov gets his jersey retired here. That is such a number one. Holy God, is that a strong play? The strength that it takes for him to skate along the boards with Orlov, who's a really strong dude in his own right, move that puck along with one hand and the ice vision to make a perfect feed. That is one of those plays that it doesn't look super sterling when you're putting out the YouTube highlight package to dubstep, but that is a play that very few people in the world can make. And Alexander Barkov led by example. That is what you need from your captain. He's a different type of cat. He's not going to fight guys. He's not overly vocal, especially not on the ice. But he does stuff like that hockey players who have actually played the game know exactly how difficult it is to play the game like he does, and he's overly impressive.
Evan Mobile Order.
Now, keep in mind, Dmitry Orlov, he's going to have to look at that tape during the offseason and just
You got to take him for a walk,
bad.
dude. He got dog walked on that play. That was crazy.
And not just that, he was holding Barkov. That was a penalty that should have been called. He was holding Barkov, and then Barkov just used his edge and got out in front and able to find Verhaeghe.
Panthers are 25-2 in the playoffs since 2022 when Carter Verhaeghe scores a goal.
It's good to see him playing well. We were talking out there before the show, like how confused you must be if you just started watching the Florida Panthers for this postseason run. You probably would guess their goalie is the best player, and then after that, maybe after last night's game, Barkov. But try to rank the Florida Panthers from like 3 to 17. There's a different guy stepping up every shift.
This is what I want to ask you guys, and I want your expertise on before I go a little further here. I put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Does the highlight package have to come with dubstep? Also, answer this question for me. Do you think that if I made that Barkov statue, that play from last night, that many people would object? That as the play for your lifetime that you're going to remember during an emotional run when the Panthers are the fifth team in 50 years, okay, to make 3 straight. This is hard. I've talked to you before in basketball. Kevin Durant's Achilles blows out. Golden State can last a few years doing that. Then they have to be apart from each other. The Heat do it for a few years apart from each other. You saw how Jokic just ended, how the Celtics just ended. You go 3 or 4 years with these things, they're really hard. I think of the hockey playoffs as harder than basketball, harder on the body, harder in every single way, harder in the pressure because of how close everything is.
You had a poll like this on yesterday's show. I got really offended because the majority of the votes were like, no, the best athlete on the planet can't be a hockey player. What? In terms of athleticism and what they put their bodies through, what are we talking about?
This is the part that I am most worried about. And I know that too much of my analysis has just been, I'm scared of this, I'm scared of this, I'm scared of this. Because when things are random, and I got a bunch of 100-point teams in hockey, and I've seen great team, every President's Cup team loses, and I've seen goalies make all the results weird. This is what I'm worried about. Because I know Barkov is considered the best two-way player in the world. I'm worried that McDavid is about to show that this is why I'm an all-time great that will be remembered differently forever than Barkov will be, because this is what's demanded of greatness when it's as great as McDavid. You take out whoever the top guy is who was never supposed to be as good as you are at this sport. He's got the pain from last year. He is a physically overwhelming player, and I fear that he will be better at offense than Barkov is at all the things he's great at, even though I understand that Barkov is championship great, but Edmonton has a better player.
Victor Wendy's Yama.
Don't forget about Leon Draisaitl. They got 2 of the best players in the world.
But after that,
but then again, they did lose last year to the Florida Panthers in Game 7.
Yeah, Draisaitl's also in that conversation in terms of two-way players. But yeah, it'll be Barkov was better last year, although McDavid won the Conn Smythe as a losing player, as a losing forward. That's only the second time that's happened, right?
Let me do it this way with you guys. Let me speak something that is very specifically your basketball language.
Jello ball.
Why is that funny? And it's the literal name, but just the thought process of it being actual Jello.
Spelled differently.
Taco Fall. Good.
The way the Spurs came back after losing to the Ray Allen shot. The way the Spurs did that after losing that way. I can't imagine what Connor McDavid's mental life has been losing to that team that way when he's the best player and everyone knows he's the best player. And he's been living with that for 12 months. I fear that more than I fear anything in the sport.
No doubt. There's a guy that was writing letters to Sidney Crosby when he was 8 years old. He's the best player from the best hockey nation. He had the game-winning goal in a Four Nations, which was the best-on-best tournament, the first of its kind in 11 years. He's pissed off to the highest level of pissivity, to quote Chad Johnson.
That was stolen from Tim Hardaway.
He's really great. He's really great. And I know we do the Mick Overrated stuff. The guy is just – he's on a different tier than Barkov. Barkov's amazing, an incredible two-way player, and what Barkov can do is mitigate what Connor McDavid can do. But Connor McDavid's going to get his, and it might be too much. Edmonton looked really, really good this year.
I didn't want to see them in the final. Did not want to see
No, it's
them.
a one team. I'm like, we could be better than last year and still lose, and it's the only way that we do is if it's Edmonton.
Can you explain to me where we're at in the NHL playoffs in Mighty Ducks terms?
He's Banks.
Oh, shit.
Big Mac Biombo.
You should have led with that.
But he's healthy.
Healthy Banks?
He's healthy Banks.
And mad and vengeful.
No arm injury?
No arm injury.
Oh, my God.
He's
He's
by
got
himself in
full
his driveway
rotation.
all summer long.
Yeah, but it's weird. Now Evan Rodriguez is a Bash brother all of a sudden. I don't know what's happening.
It's crazy how much more this makes sense to me now.
Jeremy, can you do me the favor, please, of finding the Tim Hardaway quote? He said it of the New York Knicks, and he said he was pissed off to the highest degree of pissed-offivity, but there was more to the quote than that. I don't know why Mike credited Chad Johnson on that one.
He said it on Hard Knocks. Pissed off to the highest level of pissivity.
Tim Hardy's way. It's Carl's Jr. in some places in the country, but here it's Hardy's. I believe.
It's like rallies and checkers
Yeah.
situation.
wants a service dog with Ste-O.
We are joined by a very famous persona from America, and also Ste-O, because Wendy from Peru is an internet sensation. Go ahead and tell the story, Ste-O, before we get in here. And always thank you for making time for us. But tell us why it is that your dog is more famous than you are, because I didn't think it was allowed that you can just find a dog on the streets of Peru, fall in love with it, and then just bring it over to America. I thought, didn't Johnny Depp or somebody get in trouble for trying to bring an animal into the country without the proper permission? Like,
well, that was the other way around. He already had the dog and was trying to smuggle it into Australia. I was in Peru for a mountain climbing expedition, and I found Wendy here on the streets. And fortunately, the mountain climbing expedition was like a TV show, and the production jumped through all the hoops for me. So I really didn't have to do anything. And I was able to bring Wendy home. And the video I made about finding her, it garnered over 100 million views on Facebook, making it the most viewed video I've ever put on the internet. And it's kind of devastating for an attention whore like me. You know, I've like, with the lengths that I've gone to, you know? But there it is, man. So Wendy and I, we are on a rock tour as we speak, barreling towards Syracuse for a show tonight. And we've got shows every single night in the Northeast U.S., for the next 12 days, Albany tomorrow night.
This video is adorable. Is Wendy's a service animal?
She is. You bet she is. Yeah, because I have terrible issues.
You should take more dogs, though. I mean, it seems to be working for you.
I have terrible issues is a great sentence that would explain the last 25 years of your life. You've done great sort of capitalizing on, let me take a tour bus through my terrible issues.
Right. That's about right, man. I have terrible issues.
Calling all hoopers, calling all between the leg dribblers, calling all behind the back passers, calling all bench warmers. Guess what time it is? It's playoff o'clock. And since I love to give gifts, I'm bringing you post-game lives. That's right, I'm going live after every Eastern Conference game. And since we're going live, you got to know I got to bring my crew. Trista Crick, Zach Harper, Josh Smith, Kofi Yaboa, Amin El Hassan, Israel Gutierrez, Tony Calatayud, Oprah Winfrey, maybe even Senor Daniel Le Batard. Join us to talk smack or celebrate with us every single night right here on the DLS YouTube channel, baby. YouTube, you see us.
Hey, what's up, Le Batard fans? It's your girl, Roz Goldenwood from The Good Follow Show. And this week's episode, we have a whole lot of great topics. Coming out of the WNBA, Caitlin Clark is out with an injury. What does that mean for the Fever? We break it down. The Aces have had a rough start to the season, and I think the Chicago Sky have had an even rougher start. So we look at what Asia Wilson and the Aces can do, what Angel Reese and her Sky can do to kind of climb back out of this hole. We give a shout out to Nneka Ogwumike. She climbs into the top 10 in points all time for the WNBA, and rebounds are on the way. Hey, some early candidates already. Kelsey Plum is balling for LA. Is she an MVP candidate? And guess what? Paige Beckers ain't the only rookie in the WNBA. Kiki Iriafen is having a great start for the Mystics, as is Sonia Citron. And please sit down and stay with us. We have a great interview with Corey Close. She is the Women's College Basketball Coach of the Year this past season, the head coach of UCLA Women's Basketball. And I have the opportunity to really pick her brain, reflect on last season. We talk about the transfer portal and so much more. So definitely pull up. Our show, Good Follow, is presented by DraftKings. We drop every Wednesday somewhere around 7 p.m. Eastern on DraftKings Network, YouTube, or wherever else you get your podcasts.
comfort?
You know what? I'm gonna break your guys' heart right here. There's no such thing as official certification for a service animal, and because and I did the deepest dive, man. I found the best dog trainer on the planet, and they were the ones who told me, yeah, there's no such thing as official certification. You know, we can sure train her, but that's never. I got a note from my doctor. I got some little weird thing online that means nothing, which says certified service animal. But yeah, there's no such thing. You can ask a blind person with a seeing eye dog, and they'll tell you that there's no such thing.
More to the point.
So we make fun of. Yeah, we travel around and we make.
Yes, look at him. There he is. Yes. He's already fiddling with his camera. We'll see if his audio works this time. He's an old man.
Get your own gimmick, dude.
He's an elder. He is now an elder officially. He has wisdoms about basketball to give us. Stan, it is nice to see you. You are looking thin. That color looks lovely on you. What is that? Is that a light green?
It certainly seems to be, yes. Maybe a teal, Dan. Maybe a teal.
Okay, you've come in with the kind of energy I expected to meet the moment here during the playoffs. We are always happy to see you. Where are you joining us from? You're ready for New York, Indiana again?
Yes, in New York City. Yep, ready to go.
Doesn't sound like it.
Stan, when Reggie floated that the Pacers should consider fouling there when the spread was 3, when there were 33 seconds left and the 2-for-1 was still on the table, did your head explode?
No, I mean, I think those are good things to think about. I think they're things that coaches talk about a lot. I mean, I know there was a situation earlier in the series where they were up 5, and it was a situation where I was thinking, Joe Mazzulla's talked about these situations where he would foul in those situations and take the 3 off the board. So these are things coaches are thinking about all the time, may overthink them at times, but I think they're certainly interesting to talk about.
Stan, Isaiah Thomas, the younger one, not the older one, at 3:50 a.m. this morning posted to his nearly 2 million followers, man, when I'm on these flights, I be farting so much, LOL, especially these overseas flights. It's all bad if you sit by me, laughing emoji. Your thoughts?
I had Isaiah for a brief time in New Orleans, and he is a great guy. He loves the game and everything else. I have no specific thoughts on his farting.
But I need some thoughts on the farter on the flight. Like, you can't be farting. Like, that's wildly inconsiderate. And you saying he's a great guy, he cannot be a great guy if that's what he does.
Okay, that's a fair point, actually, because that would be a tough thing if you're anywhere near him on that flight.
This is ridiculous, Stan. A plane farter can be a good person.
That's not true. That's not true.
I know Isaiah is a very good person.
Thank you.
So.
No, there you go.
Again,
confirmed.
No, you cannot.
Okay, let's take Isaiah out of this. What's your move when you need to fart on a plane? Yeah. Do you just shove your ass as far into the cushion as possible to kind of stifle it?
So much
and
ambient noise.
Bury it inside the cushion? Do you get up and go to the restroom? Do you just kind of try to put the silencer on it, let it out the side, and let people trying to figure out who did it?
Yeah, you just fake it. You just fake like you have no idea where the smell is coming from.
I'm headed to the bathroom.
It's a fart?
Oh, come on, Stan.
That's insane.
That's a good guy.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
So you're alleging here publicly.
I don't believe you.
Oh yeah. Well, let's see. Hold on a second. Okay, you don't believe him? All right, let's do this to him then. I think.
Yo, chicken time.
They're all lined up like idiots just trying to go to the bathroom. Like, oh my God, can't you hold yourself for a couple of seconds? I like them.
Just look at him, okay? Not this thin version of him. The one who's eating candy and beans all the time on these flights.
Orlando Magic Stan.
Your Orlando Magic Stan is getting up and going to the bathroom every time. Are you alleging here publicly for the first time? that you have never farted on an airplane?
I am not saying that. I mean, sometimes, you get one that sneaks out. But if I feel it coming on, I'm going to the bathroom.
All right, so the one that sneaks out, how do you react? Do you put your hand up, went off me, Coach?
No way.
You just sit in it?
And which of the choices are you choosing? Are you choosing the side, the side missile?
The side missile.
No, it just snuck out, so I'm not doing anything.
Side missile's a wild move.
Have you ever
people
looked
can
around?
see that from like rows away.
Yeah. Have you looked around
the lean, like your right hip kind of like
try to recognize faces? Like, oh man, Turkaloo, look back. He thinks it's me.
If it were Turkaloo, he probably would have been the one anyway that everybody suspected.
He looks like he just
looks
farted.
like it. You know what? That's so true. Let's beat Turkaloo. I'm all in. All of sports history, guy who looks like he'd fart on the plane, Turkaloo. Who can beat my hand on I'm all in with, I got a pair of Turkaloos. Nobody can.
Oh, wait, I got one for you. Oliver Miller.
Wait a minute. Oliver Miller, that's just somebody who's a little heavy.
Yeah, that's messed
Justin
up, man.
Bohr.
That's just a straight.
All right.
Former Marlins first baseman.
No, I know. Thank you. I appreciate. I know who you're speaking of, but now we're just doing sizable human beings, right?
It's either that or Shaggy, right? That's what we're doing with Turkaloo.
All right, Stan, we've missed you here, and it's been a delight to hear you on the Pacers and Knicks. But I was taken aback the other day because it was reported that you were going to Amazon. I thought everything was going great where you were, and I just didn't even know any of that was happening because you're one of the best broadcasters in the game. So how or why is all of that happening? And congratulations on the new gig. Are these your last games?
Well, they're TNT's last games. Yeah. So, we're headed out of the NBA business at the end of this series. And so, I had to find somewhere else to go. There's not very many things that I know anything about. And so if you're not doing NBA games, I'm not of a lot of value. So it was out of necessity. I had to find somewhere else to go. And I was very lucky that Amazon's willing to give me another opportunity.
Well, congratulations. And I wanted to ask you in that series about the following, because you love baseball and you love how it is in baseball. The advanced metrics make it so that we really can do a good job of measuring individuals now in team sports. So when I say to you, I did not have before this Indiana series as the analysis that Jalen Brunson is going to be the biggest liability that's going to be exposed and exploited in this series, because if him and Cat are on the court at the same time, Indiana is going to ravage them with math probabilities that expose Jalen Brunson as the worst defensive player remaining in the sport. Why wasn't that the analysis before the series, and is that analysis more accurate now than it has been at any point during Indiana's run of the last 2 years?
Well, I would say this. First of all, I think one of the things that, because it's a 3-1 series, that people are not, I'm not going to say they're missing, but overlooking a little bit, is all of these big games have been close. So they're right down to the wire. The margins are small. And so these things do matter. Okay, they do matter. But going in, I think that we were talking about, Indiana's improved defense over the course of the year. And certainly since January 1st, they were a top 10 defensive team. And, we talked about, I think because Tom Thibodeau's the coach there, everybody talks about the Knicks as if they're a good defensive team. And so I think what people didn't talk about enough is going back even to last year's series against each other. These two teams can't stop each other. Game 3, second half was a little different. New York, was able to play some defense. But other than that, nobody in this matchup can guard anybody. Both teams score at will. It's an offensive series. So, yes, are they exploiting Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns? Yeah, and New York is exploiting Miles Turner and whoever tries to guard Karl Anthony Towns. And whoever tries to guard Jalen Brunson, especially anyone other than Aaron Nesmith. So, yeah, both teams are exploiting weaknesses on the other side, but it's not like Indiana is dominating this series.
Coach, I'm curious. Anthony Edwards, after Game 4, said he didn't struggle. He just made the plays that the defense made available to him. And so when you have your star player who's one of the immortals, one of the great players in the league, how do you tell him the balance between making the right play under normal circumstances versus, buddy, we need a win, and sometimes you got to make the wrong play to make that happen?
You know, listen, I think you always have to make the right play. What the right play is, may change from situation to situation. I don't think it's ever the right play for a guy to just say, hey, I got to get a shot up. I don't care if they send 3 defenders. I'm going to shoot a 22-foot fadeaway over 3 guys. I mean, that's not going to work percentage-wise. I do think there are times where, you know, you can maybe force the issue a little bit more in certain situations because the rest of your teammates are struggling. It's always trying to make the right play, though. It's just that changes from situation to situation. I thought, you know, last night he certainly was very, very aggressive. You know, I don't think that's just the answer either. Listen, basketball is a game of decisions. And the best players make the best decisions. I've argued this for a long time. People think it's all about athleticism and skill. And while those things are important, if you look, the guys who are the best and most efficient players, they make the best decisions. It's why I thought, you know, and I'm biased. I know I coached him at the beginning of his career. It's one of the things that made Dwayne Wade as great as he was, is he got to the shots that he could make consistently. And he got to those all the time, and he stayed away from the other things. He was a great decision maker and really, really good down the stretch in games. I've thought for a long time that he's the best closer that I've seen. You know, it's all about decisions. And I think if you go into a game and say, all right, tonight I've got to pass the ball, or tonight I've got to shoot the ball a lot. No, you have to react to situations on the floor. And I think that, you know, Tyrese Halliburton in our series did not think he was aggressive enough in Game 3. I agree with that. I think you have to be aggressive to try to score. But if that second defender comes, you've got to give the ball up.
I have to stop you right now. It's been a minute since he did the show with us. He's a little full of himself. He's big NBA voice and everything else. And so you can understand how Stan would come in here as a coach and talk at us. But Stan doesn't mind a little constructive criticism. So you've told me 2 or 3 times during what you just said to listen. Do you think I can't hear you? Do you think I'm old and you need to shout at me, listen, listen again? Or do you think it makes your point better to tell me to listen even though I'm listening to you say listen several times more than you need to, because I can hear you fine, except for last time you were on with us when I couldn't because your audio blew.
Oh, that was great. Absolutely great. So I will take the constructive criticism and try to take that out of what I am saying.
There's got to be a tone fine, right?
No, it's not a tone fine. It is, though. It is something that I need from you here, though, Stan, because I want to continue doing this with you, because I've loved doing this with you over the years. The energy to meet the particular moment right now to tell me that just this is all over, OKC is going to win. Why are we even talking about Stan's series?
Well, listen, I've said all year. See, I used the listen again. I caught myself that time, though, because you brought it out to me. But I have said all year that Oklahoma City would win the championship. They're the dominant team all year. I don't think you can just discount the regular season. This is a 68-win team, and they have an answer to every problem anyone poses. You want to go big, you want to go small, it doesn't matter. They have all the answers on that bench. Mark Daigneault does a great job. They've got a true star. There's no one out there as good as they are. I do think they'll win it all, no matter who wins our series here. But that doesn't mean that who wins this series doesn't matter.
Drew Hollandaise.
What derails OKC? I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about the next 4 years.
Well, two things. I think number one, health. I mean, you can't guarantee
but give me another one other than health. When I tell you that Jalen Williams is not one of their top 10 highest paid players. Like, I'm asking you what derails it.
That's the second thing that comes up is, what's going to happen with all these guys' contracts? They're all going to want max money. You can't pay them all. I mean, the last time that, Oklahoma City went through this was back in Durant, Harden, Westbrook, Serge Ibaka days, and they parted with, James Harden. It's hard. You're not going to be able to long-term keep all of these guys together. And so you're going to have to make choices on who you have together and then who you use to supplement those core players with. It's not an easy thing. Amin would know more about this than most people, having been in front offices and work. But this idea that we have this team and we're just going to keep them together for the next 10 years, that won't work financially. So a lot of hard decisions are going to have to be made. Are you going to max out, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren? Well, then you're not going to have around them for the long term the same group they have now. That's just not going to be possible.
Stan, the finances aside, let's just assume Clay Bennett decides he's got plenty of money and he'll spend whatever it takes to luxury tax. How hard is it as a coach to get guys to buy into the roles that they were in a year ago, basically?
Well, it's really, really difficult because, look, it's still a business, and these guys want to make money, and you start to have some success and get recognition. We're all trying to advance and get better, which for basketball players means bigger roles on teams. And so guy who might be satisfied being your eighth man, let's say Cason Wallace, okay?
Can I just stop you on this one, though? When you say hard decisions and everything, I don't think these decisions are hard when you consider the way the system is gamed for the Thunder, not just now, but in 25, they got 2 1s and a second. In 26, they got 2 1s and a second. In 27, they've got 2 1s, 2 seconds. In 28, they've got 1 1, 3 seconds. In 29, they've got 1 1 and 5 seconds. Like, you're going to lose some of these players, but you've increased the probability of replacing them with cheaper, better ones because you've got all of these draft picks to protect against health, money, and anything else.
Well, look, there's no question they're set up well. But what they've got right now is guys who are getting the job done. They're not going to be able to retain all those guys. I think we know that. So now you're assuming that all of those draft picks are going to be able to come in and contribute the way that their recent draft picks have contributed. There's no guarantee of that. Listen, as great a job as Sam Presti has done in the draft, and I'm not sure anyone's done a better job ever in the draft than Sam Presti, you're going to miss on some guys over time. That's just the way it goes. And when they do, now you don't have the quality of bench, the quality of rotation that you have now. Are they set up well? Yes. Will they be derailed? I don't think so. I think they're set up very well for the next 4, 5, 6 years. But when you ask me what could derail them, that's what it is to me, not being able to, have the continuity in your roster.
Paulo Banchero
is going to the Thunder? Or do we just pull that name out of the hat?
No, they're making jokes at my expense. They're taking basketball players. You know what? You want to delight Stan? Go ahead and
please tell him.
No, let's just.
We have a working doc.
Yeah, look, there's a working doc here. We're going to give them all to you, Stan. And as a fellow, you used to be a fat person. You know that this is the last place in America that people can attack someone in their insecurities publicly.
There's a lot more places now.
Well,
we're back. societal shift.
The portal opened up, but this had been the safest space that no one objected to. You want to make fun of somebody? Make fun of the old fat guy. That's an easy space. And now this is what they've been doing to me all show.
Because he played basketball versus 17-year-old.
I did play basketball recently against a 17-year-old, and so they said my game, they're going to give you an assortment of names here to choose from. You rank them.
All right, we got Pelle Larsson. We got Carl Anthony Pounds. Kristaps Porzingis. Jay Chowder. Bradley Veal. Entree Drummond. Nemanja Biapizza.
That's my favorite. We forced that one.
I like it, though.
Andre Drummond.
Miles McFries. Gravy Dick. Let's see. Mitchell Slavinson.
Man. These are good.
Oh, gosh.
Jason Tatum Tots.
Oh, yep.
Stan, what's your favorite?
Oh my gosh, those are all outstanding, and it's really amazing that we have a group of people that can get paid good money to do things like this all day.
Good.
Let's. I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with this country, but come on now, you can get paid for that.
How about
That's
us?
Pretty damn good.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
The seal of approval.
Orange Julius Randle. Mason Plumpley.
That's a good one too.
Thank you. I'm glad.
That is a good one.
I'm glad you guys have enjoyed this. The Oklahoma City Thunder, though, Stan, this one in the modern age, in a league filled with narrative storylines, you got to care about the people, the stars, or the thing. They are going to be a champion, it would appear, that while not unlikely, I thought this team was good enough last year to be a bigger challenge to everything that was happening in the sport than Dallas ended up being, and I was surprised they lost last year. This team is more set up than most, even in a league that's random, to do this for a while, even understanding that none of these things are permanent, because they are young and hungry, and they do things the way the basketball purist in you loves. It's just about all efficiencies, but great at defense, don't turn the ball over, cause a lot of turnovers, and you just can't beat their probabilities when they can beat you every single way.
Well, that's true. The thing to me, the great teams have an answer to everything. Now, what they didn't have an answer to, and I'm not just talking about last year, but if you go even last year in the regular season and early in the year this year, that they hadn't found an answer to Luka Doncic's Dallas teams, but Dallas decided to take that off the table for them. So they have an answer to every question. I think that's really the issue when you get into the playoffs. Like, even if you're trying to construct a team, and we could do it right here, and there's no limitations, what kind of team do you want to put out there against them where you say, well, here's their vulnerability. If only you could do this. They're going to have an answer to all of it. That roster has not only got a lot of talent, it's really been expertly put together to handle all the problems. I mean, I thought sort of the missing piece from last year was going out and getting Hartenstein. So now they can play big against you. They can play two bigs. And they've got more depth. We saw it when Chet Holmgren was out early in the year. Then they're still big enough to play. Jalen Williams as their third center, would be a very good backup anywhere else. I just have a hard time identifying a weakness there.
Luka Doncic.
Not bad.
You're laughing at your own joke. Stan, the thing that I think is going to be hard to talk about and hard to overcome is OKC's point differential this playoffs. They are winning by an average of 11 points per game. It's the highest since the Warriors of 2017 were doing it, 13 points a game. I believe that's the team I was saying was the best I'd ever seen. A point differential of 11 when you've lost a game by 42, Stan, suggests that OKC is a great deal better than everyone they're playing against this season and has been for a while. Only injury derails them from taking down whoever comes out of your conference. There is no other thing there that derails it, correct?
I don't think so. And to me, it would almost have the injury would almost have to be to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think they could survive any other injury and win. Jalen Williams would obviously be a big loss. Chet Holmgren would be a big loss. But honestly, I think they would overcome either one of those losses. If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander goes down, then they're going to get beaten. But other than that, I think they'll end up winning the championship. They're too deep, too good, too versatile, too well coached. Their habits are fantastic. I just don't see anything keeping them from winning the championship.
Coach, I'm flying up to New York right after this to be there for Game 5. How do the Knicks avoid a funeral tonight?
You know, here's the thing. I think everybody, it's probably a little overplayed. I mean, in terms of adjustments and schemes and rotations, and especially as you get deeper in the series, a lot of it just comes down to, number one, your best players have to play great. And number two, it's the basics. And for New York, that's been more than obvious in this series. The number one and by far the number one thing, take care of the ball. The turnovers are killing them. So their most important offensive key tonight is take care of the ball. Their most important defensive key tonight is take care of the ball. So Indiana's not out in transition all the time. And then their transition defense has got to be a lot better. We played it on the air the other night. When you're in the middle of a game 4 in the Eastern Conference Finals and your coach is having to implore you in the huddle to sprint back, sprint, something's going wrong if somebody's got to tell you. That's what you're saying in the huddle in game 47 on the second night of a back-to-back. You know, in the Eastern Conference Finals, a coach has got to beg you to run back. That won't get the job done. So take care of the ball, get back on defense, and then they've got to figure out their pick-and-roll defense on Halliburton. There's such a contrast in the series. You watch Aaron Nesmith in particular get into Jalen Brunson. He's hard to screen because he's attached to Jalen Brunson. And then you watch Mikal Bridges play Halliburton with an 8-foot cushion, and Halliburton can go wherever he wants to go on the floor. I don't think the Knicks and Mikal Bridges in particular have competed hard enough or physically enough against Tyrese Halliburton in the series. I think those are the things. And then obviously stay on the glass. All the basics are what it comes down to.
On the other side, you've coached against Rick Carlisle for a long time. How surprised are you that Rick has kind of transformed himself from a kind of slow it down, possession calling coach to giving the keys to Tyrese and having an up-tempo offense?
Before you answer that, though, because the great old man rant, and Stan, you really loved getting this off your chest, and I appreciate that you did so on this forum, of your coach having to tell you to run hard in the Eastern Conference Finals. It offends you at your core in a way that I love you still care this way as an acerbic, grizzled, old, former tyrant that run harder. The games are important. Just an excellent rant by you, Stan. So congratulations on just being totally musty.
You don't have to think that, Coach.
No, but it's true. I mean, like, come on. It's the simplest thing in the game, and this team's going to play very fast. To Amin's point, look, Rick Carlisle has certainly evolved. But I said this on the air the other night, and it's something I've believed for a long time. How much a team runs is really not going to be determined by the coach and your philosophy. It's going to be determined by who your point guard is. Tyrese Halliburton, you're going to run. And the reason you're going to run is not only does he get the ball up the floor quickly, that's a natural thing from him, but he will throw the ball ahead to other people. So other people are going to want to run because they know they're going to get the ball and have a chance to score. When I was coming in, it was Jason Kidd when I was first in the league. Jason Kidd, it didn't matter what team he went to, that team was going to run. Didn't matter who his head coach was. That team was going to run because Jason Kidd was going to push the ball, and if you were open ahead of him, he was going to give you the ball. So guys ran hard. If you have a guard who's going to pound the ball and will not throw the ball ahead, guys are like, why am I going to run down the floor? I'm not getting the ball anyway. And so you're going to be a half-court team. I think point guards determine tempo. I don't think there's a coach out there that doesn't want to run. I really don't. I think we all understand that our most efficient offense is going to be before the defense is set. But it's a matter of, do I have the person who can make that system work? Is he going to push the ball? Will he throw it ahead? And will he take care of the ball and make good decisions? Well, we were talking the other night on the air, like what was the most impressive thing about Halliburton's game 4? To me, the most impressive thing was 0 turnovers, and it's the thing that has impressed me the most about Halliburton throughout his career is this is a guy who takes care of the ball and not a guy who's just playing it safe to take care of the ball. This isn't a guy who walks it up the floor and just makes the pass from the point to the wing and doesn't. This guy's a creative passer who also scores the ball, high usage rate, does not turn the ball over, and makes quick decisions. He's not a ball-dominant guy. Look, I mean, if you went around the league and just started asking players, I'm not sure there's a guy that any wing or big guy would rather play with in the league as a point guard than Tyrese Halliburton.
All right, Stan, I've got to stop you because you said I mean, and it sounded like you were saying I mean, but that's not even the offensive part. After, again, I just corrected you moments ago. I said, do you think I can't hear you? Because you said listen to me several times. Now you offend me even more because you've asked me several times now, look, do you think I can't see you, Stan? Are you of the opinion that I need to look because I am looking elsewhere or that I can't see you?
You know, Dan, the thing that's really nice about coming on your show is to be able to come on and give you just, I mean, pearl after pearl of wisdom here, okay? And then still be criticized for it. It's really enjoyable.
This is one thing I wanted to ask you before you left here today. I want you, as somebody who enjoys all of the analysis and you know a great deal about why and how things happen, but some things are out of your control. If the shot that Halliburton made that bounced over the shot clock and went in, if I asked Halliburton to take that shot 10,000 times, how many of those 10,000 times would that shot go that high and go that way and then drop through without touching any part of the rim out of 10,000 tries?
Lou al dente.
Once, twice, maybe. I mean,
Zero is the answer.
So 0 may be the answer. You know, as soon as I saw it, everybody started talking about Kawhi's shot. Of course, coming from where I come from, I was thinking about Allen Houston against the Knicks. The ball bouncing up and going in.
I said Don Nelson.
You know, it's just sometimes. What's that?
Don Nelson, 1969 was what I said.
I mean, you weren't around in 1969. All right, my man. Like,
ooh,
my man.
He
Oh,
hit you
shit.
with a my man. He hit you.
You know, there's no way you were around in 69. I mean, I appreciate your knowledge of the history of the game, but you didn't see that shot.
You weren't there, hot shot.
Hey, I'm an old soul, and video exists.
Stan,
The video does exist.
Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. There's no way you were around in 69, my man, at Le Batard Show. Yes or no? Stan, it is nice to see you. I do indeed see you. It is nice to hear you as well. Nice seeing your smiling face, sir. And it has been a pleasure to you guys are going out with a bang. Like, if these are the last games for TNT does it the best till the very end because all of this stuff has been wildly entertaining to watch.
Well, listen, Dan, I really appreciated looking at you today. So it was fantastic.
Good seeing you, Stan. I love you. You know that we love you. Before we get to Tim Kurkjian, who is very popular around here because he's going to join us here in a second, I did want to ask you guys what you thought of Terry Bradshaw. As Steeler a voice as there is for 50 years, saying it is a joke that the Steelers would be entertaining the possibility of Aaron Rodgers for a season. That Mike Tomlin, who wins every single season without Aaron Rodgers, would make a one-year bet on Aaron Rodgers will be a better quarterback than the rest. What did you make of Terry Bradshaw, who's now over 80, if that means anything? Like I said, a voice for this town for half a century.
I don't think he's wrong. I don't think he's wrong at all. I mean, I can get the logic of, yes, he could go with one of his other quarterbacks, produce a winning season, as he's done throughout his entirety of his career as a head coach. But to get different results, you got to do something different. It is not off to a good start. I am not a believer that Aaron Rodgers is going to be the antidote that takes the Pittsburgh Steelers to Super Bowl contention. I think he's past his prime. I don't think he's that player. I also think the level of leader that you would need to be to come into this situation and have those results has also passed him. He has other interests that are off the field, and at that age, to be the very best, you have to be locked in on solely being the best football player because it takes more out of you at the age he is. Like I said, that being said, for Mike Tomlin, you got to do something crazy because right now the worst thing you could do is to do what you have continued to do for the past 4 or 5 years or however long Ben Roethlisberger has been out of that building.
If criticizing Aaron Rodgers were cool, consider Terry Bradshaw Miles Davis. He's been doing this for years. There's something going on there that is deeper than superficial value.
Yep.
He criticized his reaction to the drafting of Love. He's called his footwork the worst among starting quarterbacks. He crushed him for the vaccination thing in 2021. Terry Bradshaw has made it very clear he does not like Aaron Rodgers.
Nah.
Can I place in front of you, though, the idea of somebody who's a grandpa for a region, somebody in Terry Bradshaw who's been passed down to the most stable franchise in sports? They've had, 3 coaches? Yeah. Like, that. What Pittsburgh means to that city, Terry Bradshaw is the lead voice for 50 years on, I'm the reason this city cares about sports this way. When that's the voice filing the criticism from his 80s, I'm asking you, what's the impact of calling this a joke when that's the voice?
I don't think it's a huge impact. Yes, Terry Bradshaw has a huge voice in Pittsburgh, and we understand what he represents there in that city. But at the same time, there have been other times where Terry has made comments that, depending on where the franchise or the fan base is, it does roll off the back. And I think they're all in a situation now, like I said earlier, where something needs to be different. They're willing to take a crazy leap. Now, I do not believe the Aaron Rodgers experiment is going to be the best case for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I understand the logic. Angel Reese's Pieces.
Isaiah Fartenstein.
Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz. We've stolen the exclamation point officially from Get Up. It's put after the word show.
So this is Act 1, Scene 2 of Macbeth. The stage instructions are: a camp near Fours. Alarm within. Enter Duncan, Malcolm, Donalbain, Lennox with attendants, meeting a bleeding sergeant.
I don't even know what that means.
Jessica, you have played the role.
All right, so wait, can we set the scene? Thank you, Mike. Can we set the scene, Mike, from high school? Can you give Chris Cody his motivation on, because he didn't even understand what Whittingham.
Am I happy?
Like, what,
the sergeant is bleeding.
Okay. In what condition does the distressed?
How bullet stood.
Okay, very good. Good confidence there. Let's have the music that we need, Shakespearean music, and let's see if we can find our note here.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight of the revolt, the new estate.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hardy soldier fought gainst my captivity. Hail, brave friend! Say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
So true.
Doubtful it stood as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless McDonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that. The multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him from the western isles. Of kerns and Gallowest glasses is supplied, and fortune of his damned quarrel smiling. Showed like a rebel's whore, showed like a rebel's whore, but all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well, he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked a blood with bloody execution.
What? Yes.
Like Valuor's minion carved out his passage till he faced the slave.
I feel your distress. I really do.
Which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him till he uniseamed him from the nave
Rolling. Don't let them deter you.
to the chaps and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
Ah, as whence the sun gins his reflection.
You missed your cue.
Shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break. So from that spring whence comfort seemed to come.
Wait a minute. There wasn't a question mark there.
Discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, Mark, no sooner justice had with valor armed.
Oh, you think he's done?
Humbled! These
Compelled.
These skipping kerns to trust their heels.
Not compelled. We need compelling.
But the Norwegian lord surveying vantage.
Which is it?
Furbished arms.
Vintage or vantage?
And new supplies of men.
All right, we've
begin a fresh assault.
We've tested his
This
endurance.
big, not this. Our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
And scene.
You almost made it to the finish line. You started leaking confidence. It was not unlike the race outside in Freedom. You were very confident for a moment, and then you fell at the finish line. But
Showed his long track.
Excellent, Chris. Excellent.
Vintage, vantage.
Long white crap.
Coppled, compelled.
Ah.
Mike goes to Vegas, gets drunk, and Roy has to finish his hockey segment.
Mike Ryan has landed.
This episode is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Would I shock any of you if I told you that Tim Kurkjian used to rabidly run a pickup basketball game that Cal Ripken Jr. played in, and that in general Tim Kurkjian knows about very little, very, very little, but he knows baseball, and I don't know that he knows that much less about basketball, because I dare say that what are you doing?
It's a double negative from hell that you just did. You don't know that he doesn't know that much less about.
Okay, so forgive me. I think that Tim cares about basketball and knows about basketball in many of the same ways that he does about baseball. Tim, do I have that wrong?
No, you have it right. And I remember the Don Nelson play very vividly. Keith Erickson tipped that ball away from John Havlicek, and Don Nelson shot it from the free throw line.
That's right.
And I'll never forget how high that ball went. And then it went straight through for an enormous bucket in a playoff game. But Halliburton's, as we know, went, I think it's 7.23 feet in the air. I have never seen a ball go to the shot clock above the backboard like that. And Brian Maggott, who's a friend of mine, one of the great shooters ever, told me he's never seen anything like that. And he still shoots every day. And he's still one of the greatest shooters ever. And he said, I went out the next day, he said, and I shot that shot, trying to recreate that shot for 30 minutes and never even come close. He said, I promise you, if I shoot that shot every day for an hour until I'm 90, I will never be able to recreate that shot. That's how crazy that was.
Hold on. So, Tim, here's the music. Finally, let me introduce you, America, to one of my math friends. Tim, thank you, because they were making fun of me. Because I'm like, do you guys realize how improbable that shot was? Yeah, Dan, who cares?
Well,
math,
called it math friends.
No, but this is
that's the part we jumped on.
My point is, now backtrack. Now that it's no longer cool to mock the math guy.
But it's not math though. Like to me, it comes down to shooting form, right? He has incredible backspin on his shot, and so the reason you do that is to give the ball a chance to not just ricochet hard off the rim, but if it goes up, it'll have a chance to drop in. Now it went up unusually high, but that doesn't make it a lucky shot, which is kind of what your whole premise is that it was a lucky shot, and it's not a lucky shot. It's a shooter's roll.
I mean, you're bearing the lead here. I don't want to live in a country in which some guy can just say, I texted my math friends, and think that he can just move on with this show without guys saying, wait a second, math friends, you nerd.
Preach!
That's America, Jack.
That is America.
This is one of my math friends. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do something this month with Tim Kurkjian and my math friends. We're gonna do a baseball game. I'm gonna show you that me and my math friends can throw a party, even though you guys are afraid of math and you like to make fun of math. Tim Kurkjian's genuinely excited about sports surprising him all the time, and what he's telling you in terms of improbabilities, the Halliburton shot's not being covered correctly. Like it's as a historic shot, it will never happen again. It's never happened before. It'll never happen again. It'll never happen at the end of a game.
This is why we need sports science.
You're using Kurkjian wrong.
Yeah.
All right. I'll tell you how to use Kurkjian. I text Kurkjian last week. Who's the slowest position player in history?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's how you use a Tim Kurkjian, Dan.
Tim?
I think I said it was Ron Hassey.
He did. And then I pitched.
Caught a bunch of no-hitters and was a good catcher, and he had some bad knees, so he was slow. And Chris, you came up with Benji Molina, right?
Yes, Benji Molina. Good call by me. Great shout by me.
And Benji Molina, who hit for the cycle once. Wow. How about that?
Wow.
So Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and Babe Ruth never hit for the cycle. But Benji Molina did.
I want to see that triple.
It's so good. It's so good. The sports are so good. And you're right, Dan. I'm still amazed by the probabilities and the possibilities when you watch a game. And that shot I've never seen before. And you're right. I don't think we'll ever see that again.
I will acknowledge that I have not used Tim Kurkjian, right? So, Tim Kurkjian, does Pablo Sandoval...
He's already laughing. You haven't said anything other than the name.
No, but Dan, this is why I'm laughing. I swear to God, yesterday I went to the Safeway, and this guy comes up to me. I don't even know him, and he says, "What's your favorite looks like on the Le Batard game?" He doesn't. I don't even know who he is. So I tell him, "Well, it's Jeff Van Gundy, who looks like the coroner who does an autopsy while he's eating a ham sandwich." And then this guy says to me, "My favorite," he said, "is Stan Van Gundy looks like the generic face on a pizza box." Show. I came on right after him. This is unbelievable. What a juxtaposition. Me next to Stan Van Gundy after a guy in the frozen food aisle asked me a question about the Van Gundy brothers.
That's less improbable than the Halliburton shot. Yeah.
Does Pablo Sandoval look like the bear-shaped bottle of honey?
Three homers in a World Series game.
That's right.
God.
That's right. Does Aaron Judge look like the most athletic member of the Addams family?
Well,
Shoot. That's
I'll
crazy.
call him Lurch.
You rang. Oh my God.
Wow. That is for the Sueys. Limited fake Lurch from the Addams family by Tim Kurkjian. Tim, real quick, because I want to tell the audience this again. He does a podcast with his son, Is This a Great Game or What? His son, Jeff. And I will tell you that I am a sucker for the father-son stuff. Greg Cody does it very well with his son, Chris and Yeti. And Jeff and Tim do it well so that people can see how much range his dad actually has, or how little, as the case may be, because Jeff has a funny relationship with his dad. But when you think of projects you've done in your life, Tim, is there a second place to this one? Like, I would imagine being able to do this at this point in your life, this podcast, that it's the most meaningful work you can do.
Yeah, I used to host a show on baseball called the Seamhead edition of Baseball Tonight, which ran every Sunday. I did that for 4 years, and that was really cool. But this is by far the best thing that I've ever done, and the most satisfying thing that I've ever done, because I'm doing it with my son, and he knows everything that I don't know, which is everything other than baseball, basketball, and sitcom from the 60s, because I don't know anything else. And he's a wizard with technology, and he's got a great sense of humor. We had Steve Russian on the other day, and we laughed for 45 minutes. It was hilarious. So yes, this is the best thing I've ever done, and we now do it 3 days a week, so we're just trying to keep it up.
Does Paul Feinbaum look like the maitre d' at a fancy restaurant?
Yes.
Isn't he the personification of the NCAA rule book?
Yes, he is. He is also that. That is
I
correct.
love his corrections.
Does Joe Girardi look like he has a favorite chair in the husband sitting area outside of Dillard's?
I can see it.
Look at that laugh right there.
Yes, it is. Does Scott Hansen look like an orthodontist? Does Adam Silver?
It's the playoffs, Dan. You can't use these during the NBA playoffs.
Does Adam Silver look like the 4-star general in a post-apocalyptic movie faced with the daunting reality of an alien invasion and the likely end of humanity as we know it, who says, staring off into the distance, they're already here. We're the aliens now. Tim, the most excited you are about a trend this season in baseball. I'm always complimenting you at how you evolve with the game. So Javi Baez in center field, first basemen, leadoff men hitting home run. You keep seeing how it is. The game changes, and you appreciate it, right? You appreciate how the game is being distorted so that what Aaron Judge is doing right now is something that you can look at and be like, this is the best that baseball can possibly be played.
Right. Well, speaking of strikeouts and leadoff guys, last night Lawrence Butler struck out 4 times in a game for the A's, hitting leadoff. So that's 16 times this season that a leadoff hitter has struck out 4 or more times in a game. Again, Dan, I bring this up because when I grew up, the leadoff guy was a pixie little second baseman shortstop who could run a little bit, put the ball in play, and rarely struck out. And now, no season before June has ever had 16 guys strike out 4 or more times out of the leadoff spot. Just another reminder how much the game is evolving, that we just put our biggest and best players, whether it's Kyle Schwarber, Shohei Ohtani, in the leadoff spot because they can get up more times. If they strike out 4 times in a game, it's not a big deal. So, yeah, that's just another thing that is changing in the game. But you mentioned Aaron Judge, Dan. I got asked the other day if Aaron Judge is going to hit 400 this year. The answer is a resounding no, nothing against him. It's just this is the hardest hitting environment that I've ever seen, and no one will ever hit 400 facing the stuff that they face every day. The fact that he is that close to 400 and we're almost to June and he's 6'7", 282, it's a miracle. And it just shows you how much he has evolved as a hitter, and that he used to swing and miss all the time. He used to strike out all the time, chased out of the strike zone all the time. Doesn't do that much very often anymore. And that's why he is spectacularly good almost every night.
This is a leading question, okay? But what is the best baseball movie made, Tim? Do you have a ranking on this? Because I imagine it's Field of Dreams for you. Is it something else?
No, it's Field of Dreams, and no doubt. My dad was the most important part of my life in every way. My dad was a really good player. My dad taught me and my brothers how to play the game, gave us a feel for the game, and that movie's all about a father and a son. So, yes, it is my favorite movie. It always will be my favorite movie.
The movie Major League and Major League 2, do you have any opinion on either one of those? The second?
I like that. I like that Charlie Sheen was able to throw a baseball athletically. I was not expecting that. And he did, playing the part of Rick Vaughn, the pitcher in Major League. And today I'm going to the airport as soon as I'm done here to pick up my friend Rick Vaughn, who used to be the PR director of the Rays and the Orioles.
Yeah, Rick Vaughn, big redhead.
And Rick Vaughn threw really hard in his day, really hard.
Okay, but this is the reason I asked you the question, Tim, is because in Major League 2, Wild Thing Rick Vaughn, at the end of the movie, the way that it finishes is, holy shit, he throws so hard. He struck out Parkman. He did it with fastballs of 99, 101, and 102. And my question is, give me a number of pitchers in the big leagues who could do this tonight.
There are probably a handful that could throw 3 straight pitches, 99, 101, 102. Maybe a handful, but that's 3 pitches in a row. That's hard to do. Maybe a couple more, maybe one more than that could throw as hard as 102.
My general point is just what was the ending of that particular movie and series comes out of the A's bullpen now and does that very easily 6 times in the ninth.
Right. And Mason Miller is tremendous. And by the way, that guy got sick a couple years ago, and he lost weight down to like 155 pounds. I weighed 140 this morning, by the way. He weighed 155 because of the sickness. Then he gained it all back, and now he throws over 100 miles an hour again. And Dan, one more time, if anyone out there actually thinks they could put a ball in play against a major league pitcher today, you've got to be kidding me. And 102 is an incomprehensible rate of speed. Chris, sit down. You have 0 chance. Stop it. And none of you guys would get a bunt down against Garrett Cole or anybody else in it. No, left-handed, right-handed, no chance. Chris, you have a good swing, I can tell, but 102 is something that you have never seen, nor has anybody else in that room.
Swing.
What if I time it for a couple of pitches?
No, Mike, he's going to buzz the tower with the first pitch. He's going to scare the life out of you with the first pitch. And then you and everyone else in that room, Chris included, is going to be afraid to get back in there after he throws it at your face with the first pitch.
What if I step out of the batter's box, point my bat to him, and say, you try that one more time, we're going to have a problem.
Yeah, pal. I asked Dusty Baker once. He asked me about facing Bob Gibson. So he went to Hank Aaron and said, I'm facing Bob Gibson tonight. What should I think about? And Hank Aaron said, whatever you do, don't look at him. Whatever you do, don't talk to him. And if he knocks you down, do not charge the mound because he will beat your ass. The same thing would happen to you, Mike. You point a bat at a major league pitcher, he's going to kick your ass no matter what. Sorry. No matter how big, strong, and athletic you are.
All right, Garrett Cole. You try that one more time, pal. All right? You try that one more time. That's how that stops.
I love the jargon of buzz the tower.
Oh, I love it so much. That's such a cool, and coming from Kurkjian, like he's some sort of 5-star general. Buzz the tower.
Oh, my God.
But what he's saying, though, the lunacy of what he says is that it is common in that sport to, like, buzz the tower when what you're saying is throw that sphere 102 miles an hour at someone's face. You guys think you'd be scared of that? Yes, of course. You'd also be scared of something right down the middle.
Yeah. No, and my first at bat in Glade's Corey League, I got hit with a pitch. I did not swing the bat for the remainder of the season.
Chris Cody,
good on-base percentage, though.
Tim, I'm not kidding you when I say if I put Chris Cody at right now in a batter's box against 102, would he see anything other than a black dot?
No, and he would have zero chance, obviously, of getting hit or putting it in play.
Set it up.
Zero chance of making contact. And I must say, speaking of, the proudest moment I've ever had on this show was when Dan asked me if you would name a rock band, which you would be in, and name it after a baseball term. I said Buzz the Tower. What a great name for a rock band. And that was because Dan asked me a stupid question, as he always does, and I came up with a stupid answer.
That's a cool answer. Thank you, Seattle. We are Buzz the Tower.
Yeah. Tim, give me 20 pitches. I'll make contact. I'm not saying I'm getting a hit. There will be contact with the bat on one of those.
You're
20
discounting
pitches.
that we're on the on deck circle. We're timing that pitch. We're timing it.
Chris, Mike, if it's a competition and the pitcher loses, Jacob deGrom loses, if you put it in play or make contact, he's not going to lose. He's going to make sure that you don't make contact, even if he has to throw one up and in. Zero chance, Chris. Sorry.
I can achieve all things through Christ.
Tim, I got a question for you. Football players are renowned. They watch a ton of film. They're constantly consuming film. I would say that you can't be a pro football player if you're not watching film, right? Basketball players, there are some who watch a lot of film, but there are some who are just kind of like off the feel of, especially if guys are vets. Like I know how guys are going to play, and I can adjust and figure it out. For baseball players, do they typically all watch a ton of film like the football players, or are there guys that just go out there and say, I've faced this pitcher enough times, I know what I'm doing?
Yeah, most players look at their iPad or some sort of video device after most at-bats just to see what it looked like. And it bothers me, it worries me a little bit that a young pitcher was asked a couple years ago by his pitching coach, after the young pitcher had just thrown a bullpen, how did your bullpen go? And the pitcher said, I don't know, I'll have to look at my iPad. So he couldn't even tell you how he threw for 10 minutes in the bullpen until he looked at his iPad and went over it. Same pitcher was asked, all right, you're facing Judge, base loaded, 2 outs, 8th inning, 2-2 count, what pitch are you throwing? And he said, whatever my iPad tells me to throw. And that's my worrisome part, is that we've stopped watching the games to some degree, and we are watching our iPads and our at-bats and our bullpens instead of actually watching the game.
A couple of things here, Tim. I want to break some news for you, and in exchange for that, I want you to do a promo for Jeremy Tachet's new show, Buzz the Tower, instead of what he's got coming on later in the show. It's presently called Pitch Clock or some other thing, or Pitch Count.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Or
Pitch
something
Clock.
else, but I'd like to call it Buzz the Tower, sponsor or executive produced by Tim Kurkjian. If he breaks some news here that you did not know about baseball, that we surprise you with, will you cut a promo for Jeremy Tachet's new baseball show, Buzz the Tower?
Yes, I think I've made it clear. I will do just about anything on this show.
Okay, let's see.
Very unlike me, but if Dan asks me, I'll do it.
All right, so that's a deal. That's the bet. Let's see if we can surprise Tim Kurkjian. It's rare to surprise him, anything baseball related.
And you're asking me to be able to accomplish this. Okay, so here's what I would say. Tim, in the first inning, Aaron Judge was intentionally walked. It's the first time since who, in what season, that a Yankee was intentionally walked in the first inning?
All right, forgive me here, Tim. You can think about that for a moment if you like, if you need some filibustering. Jeremy, I was under the confusion that we actually had a band that had Buzz the Tower already as its name.
Oh, the front man of that band, Dan, is Bronson Arroyo. With the lead guitarist of Bernie Williams and playing bass, of course, Barry Zito.
Did you know that Buzz the Tower already existed and that these three baseball players made up Buzz the Tower, the rock band?
I did not, but you asked me that question about 10 years ago. So it's possible I came up with the name of the band before they formed the band. Yeah. But I did not know that, and I'm sorry. As for the intentional walks, I'm going to filibuster. Judge was walked intentionally in the first 2 innings yesterday. Think about that for a second. That's happened 5 other times in the last 30 years. Twice to Barry Bonds, once to Freddie Freeman, once to Albert Pujols, and once to Jose Ramirez. But to get walked twice intentionally in the first 2 innings is very unusual, and I don't know the last Yankee to do this, so you have indeed stumped me. But my guess is it was Aaron Judge some other time, but I don't know.
The answer is on June 17th, 2012. Robinson Cano is the last Yankee who was walked intentionally in the first inning.
You math guys know how to party.
Look how mad Tim is at himself.
That's not fair. None of that is fair.
I'm not. Well, by the way, Roger Maris was not intentionally walked one time in 1961 when he hit 61 home runs. And then the next season, again, just to show you how the games work, he got intentionally walked 4 times in one game, having not been intentionally walked once in the year before.
This is what breaks out at these parties. It's why I love it. When he and Mike Schur get together, it's like watching 9-year-olds trade baseball cards.
That's
Tim,
a party to you?
It is a party. I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you what a party it is at some point. I'm going to show you. Buzz the tower. Go ahead as you get out of here, Tim. Just buzz the tower. Jeremy Tachet's new show is endorsed by Tim Kurkjian. You owe us this because we stumped you. Go ahead and do the endorsement. In the second hour of today's show, we have a new show, Jeremy Tachet, Buzz the Tower.
Right. Jeremy Tachet has a new show. It's called Buzz the Tower. I am the director and the producer of the show. Please watch. It'll be well worth it.
It's really
Promo
good.
cut.
I don't know why you had to yell at us.
Yeah.
Tim, thank you. It's always nice seeing you. It was good seeing you again. It's always lovely when you stop by.
Well, thanks for having me, fellas. I'll see you.
Thanks, Tim.
So it's no longer Pitch Clock. It is now Buzz the Tower.
We'll get Angel on the graphics.
Everybody's good. Everybody's good with this. It's a cooler name.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he's now the director and producer too, so the fees are definitely going to be divvied up a lot.
Next week we'll talk about that. This week we're going to stick with calling it the Pitch Clock, and then into June we'll settle the financials.
What got Maverick in trouble at Top Gun?
I wanted to ask Andrew Hawkins about something that I never got to that really did delight me last week. And I know you guys talked about it some, but the idea that in professional football, where all of these people are just killing themselves for any advantage, that they would go to the owners' meetings and that the Philadelphia Eagles owner would speak for 1 hour about the tush push in a room of rich people yelling and screaming at each other about how to get a yard physically. And they've at the center of our greatest combat sport, they've got the moral conundrum of, this isn't really the spirit of everything we're doing around here. Can we, in this one spot, protect spirit of preciously? Because like if you want to stop the play, then stop the play. Stop the play. And then you've got the Eagles owner, stop the play. Like you say, I won the championship. You can't stop my play, rich guys.
I'm getting juiced up, baby.
So these rich people yelling about this for an hour as the other owners are like, have you said enough yet? It's one of the great dumb things I've ever seen at the top of leadership in anything.
That's football, baby. That's how it goes, Dan. It's all about, it doesn't matter how rich you are. How competitive are you? Can you stop me? Can you stop my team? If so, do it. Don't change the rules. Be a man. I don't care how rich, how old, how fragile the bones may be. It's a spirit. Let's go.
Were they at the Breakers when they were doing these meetings?
Yes. Yeah, the Breakers. Traditionally, there's something that is overlooked. And the NFL and the other teams that oppose this have done a really good job in shaping this narrative in that's an anti-football play. That's not football. That's not what we tune into. I think it's as simple as this. There was one team that actually came out in support of the Philadelphia Eagles that plays the Philadelphia Eagles. all these teams are just doing what they should do. The responsibility to their team. If there is an unstoppable play that the Philadelphia Eagles run, and you play the Philadelphia Eagles or think you could play them down the line, you owe it to your franchise to come out and stomp your feet and say, no, not a good play, not aesthetically pleasing, not what we do, when all you're trying to do is win a freaking football game. Credit to Dan Campbell for being like, yeah, we play them. We like to do that too. They can do it. Only team that plays Philadelphia that came out in support of the play.
That doesn't surprise me. It was Dan Campbell. Absolutely.
Nafisa Cobbler.
That's a good one. Hey, it is a football play.
We all fell for it. We all fell for this aesthetically pleasing debate when it's just teams trying to find an advantage because that team has one. They've been kicking our ass with it. We want to win the football games and take away this short yardage play. It's all they're doing. They probably, if they were successful at it, they'd be like, don't take this play away. If they didn't have to worry about the Philadelphia Eagles, they'd be, hell if I care. But they are trying to win football games, and taking that play away from them increases your probability of beating them.
The issue isn't the tush push. Like, yes, it's an unstoppable play, but it's within the rules, and that is the whole point of the game, to try to find the plays where your probability is so high that you can bank on it. The issue is, can you stop them in first and second down, which they can't because the roster is so talented. Like the way that they've constructed the roster, that's why it's impossible, because now they bank their entire offense off of, hey, we just need 9 yards. We just maybe even need 8 yards.
Skylar Diggin.
Chris Cody, you're eating Blizzard nonstop there, and I believe that coming to you, that's good. Just drop that on the floor there right
5
before.
seconds.
Yeah, that's exactly how to do the sponsor correctly. Yeah, put that right in your
What's a
mouth.
sponsor?
Oh,
I thought he was just
Blizzard
Not
Arena.
sponsored, actually.
No, not sponsored.
No,
We just
not
bought
sponsored.
Blizzard.
Oh, okay.
Sponsored
But
by
maybe
my,
a potential one. So you're on the
sponsored by
clock.
my favorite hockey team.
So you're
We'd
just
love to have
eating.
you.
So, okay, I'm sorry. I assumed. My bad.
I'm celebrating.
My bad. I thought that was product placement.
No.
Why would I think that? It's before 11 a.m. And a blizzard is aggressive, I would say.
Marchand can do it. I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you got in there?
But Marchand didn't do it.
And there's definitely hair on the spoon.
Yes, that was
sure.
disgusting.
Let's be honest about
what
that.
just happened there
His
is-
feet are right where the.
No.
You guys won't pick up it drops on the floor for 1 second. You guys
Chris,
won't pick it up.
There's
Taylor.
no way your
That's
shoes
wrong.
weren't in
Chris.
public bathrooms and that spoon hit right where your shoes have been
You
standing
guys
for like
are the worst.
5
eating
years.
You all are the worst.
You're eating pee.
Get over it.
Chris.
Fecal matter on your tongue.
As Greg Cody has told me a long time, you got to eat a peck of dirt before you die. Yep. And
Sabrina,
a peck is a lot more than it sounds. It's like a big bag.
Sabrina Ionescu.
Because peck sounds really small.
It does.
You would think a
Yeah,
peck
it
is
does.
like the size of like a Coke can.
It's close to speck, and that's why it's your brain.
I'm actually shocked to learn that.
Look it up. Peck,
is a-
huge sack.
Yeah, he should just say you should eat a huge sack of dirt because that would hit a lot harder.
I will tell the people who are listening to this and not watching it, okay? Because this argument, Chris Cody is disgusting a lot of different ways. We learn it every day, okay? And right now he's lashing out at all of us, okay? And I understand why. He's surrounded and he's defensive, and we're about to come after his hygiene, which is repulsive. And fairly, I might add. And so he's just like throwing smoke everywhere, smoke bombs. So I'm going to tell the audience that might not have seen what happened there, which is he had a blizzard in his hand, and those are delightful. They are delicious. And as soon as I was going to him, visually, the plastic spoon that he had fell on the floor at his feet with a sound I could hear. And at those feet, I will say, I'm going to say, everyone who's walked through this studio for the last 2 years, and I'm not sure how much they do cleaning around there. So there's 2 years of whatever. If there were one place in this entire establishment, I would not want something that I was putting in my mouth to fall. It would be the bathroom if it had not been cleaned. But I think it gets cleaned an awful lot more than where that just fell. You picked it up. You immediately stuck that and whatever hair was on it right back in your blizzard. It's disgusting.
I won't be shamed on this.
You didn't even
guys,
wipe it off.
None of you, when you drop something on the floor briefly, unless it's like dirty, like get over your guys. You guys are all being ridiculous right here.
Not a quick
The internet is looking at me right now and being like, normal person. You guys
think
are going to
so?
try to shame me. You picked up a spoon and then you put it back in your mouth? What a monster.
You think the internet is going to be like, you know what,
Look.
Chris? Normal person. Everyone else, weird.
It's just the spoon
Look,
is
watch.
wet.
It's not even like you didn't try to wipe it off.
Yeah.
You didn't like maybe go
I'm on
under,
air, guys.
undershirt.
I'm a showman.
Yeah,
okay,
don't
what am
kill
I gonna be like?
yourself
Oh, I
for the
can't eat
show,
this
brother.
anymore. Kristen, can I get? No, we're on air. I got the blizzard here. I'm going back in.
So this is show business. It's
This-
not.
that's
This
what I'm
isn't. So the cameras were off. The mics were off. You would have gone to the kitchen and gotten a different spoon.
But I am a 5-second rule guy. And like, unless it's marked,
so
unless I see a hair, like I'm not that scared.
Carpet's different, dude. Carpet's a
And
different.
it's a
thing.
wet spoon. You'd already put the spoon in your
Examine.
mouth.
At least look at the spoon to be like,
I did. I
is there
glanced.
You're
a
select-
ball in a booger or not?
I glanced at it.
You dumped it right into the blizzard.
Look
You
at the
didn't-
spoon. It's clean.
I'm looking at the replay right now. You did not even glance at it. You went
No.
right.
Let me see this. Let me see the fall.
Okay, hold on.
This is after the fall. That's after the fall.
But wait a minute. Hold on. The spoon falls on the ground.
He didn't even look at it.
I want to see the pickup.
Before you
That's the
even
glance.
put it into the blizzard to get like a scoop,
God.
you put it
You're
into
disgusting.
your
I
mouth.
glanced.
There
You
was
spun
nothing
it.
on it.
You spun it.
Look, I drop it. I pick it up, and then I glance.
No.
Glancing down.
No.
Just
Looking.
too-
Hold on. Wait for a second.
But I
Glance.
don't-
Wait.
That's revolting.
Please.
I'm a showman.
Chris, tell me.
You
We're
please.
on air.
You licked the dirt off.
Chris.
Before you put it in the blizzard, you licked the
Chris.
dirt off.
What was the reason for putting it in your mouth? There's no food on it.
I'm eating a
There's
blizzard.
only carpet on it at that point,
You're
bro.
eating carpet. Which,
I ate zero carpet.
Like, there's
today.
no reason to put the spoon in your mouth at that point of eating.
Oh, it's in your mouth.
You
I
put
see
it reverse.
You see it?
You're like, let me fully get my tongue.
That's how
on
Marshawn
the
did it.
Under,
That's how Marshawn
the
did the
under.
spoon.
Oh.
I'm doing my Marshawn.
No, but there's nothing on the spoon except carpet.
You literally clean the spoon with,
With
your,
your
mouth
tongue.
before you put it into the food.
Showman.
This is where Willow hangs out.
You need a
Damn
tetanus
it.
shot.
Willow has laid in here a
What's
lot.
it? Willow? Ethan's dog was here the other day. Just roaming
Taylor.
around.
Why is Ethan's dog
the
here?
bottoms of shoes.
Oh, gross.
In a place where there's a lot of construction, I will say that Chris Cody has done as foul a thing I have seen done around here
Oh,
of
I've done
any
worse.
kind. No,
This
hold
is
on
crazy.
a second. Hold on. I'm not done. I am not done.
Lick the dirt off.
You are truly disgusting, okay? But, and this is why I have a soft spot for you, and I can't help but have a soft spot for you because what I just witnessed is truly appalling, okay? Because I'm assuming, without seeing it, that fuzz and all manner of debris came with that.
No.
Okay, listen.
looked. Listen. No, you didn't.
You didn't.
You didn't look.
You did not. Look. You cannot put that
On the
any.
way up, I was like looking at
Okay.
it.
All right. Listen.
Stan Van Gundy over here.
I am Stan Van Gundy because I don't think anyone's hearing me on this.
You're not looking or listening.
Your defense. I'm a showman. Is the single funniest thing you've ever said.
Thank you. I mean, that's what I'm doing here. I don't let a little thing of dirt stop the show. Hawk, you get this. You were with me before, I thought.
Hawk, you get this.
There's like certain degrees, man. There is a little bit of nuance and context that matters. But again, spoon to the mouth for no apparent reason after the dirt drop.
Yeah.
It's objectively wild.
So Mike is doing an experiment right now.
Mike
He
is
just put a wet towel on the
Mike,
floor. He's going
Mike.
to lift it up, and we're going to see. I'm telling you, the cleaning people come in here, like, we're spending a lot of money on cleaning. Like, there's people all the time in here cleaning.
So what is it? That the floor is clean, or that you're a showman, or the 5 second? You're giving me a lot of explanations here.
I glanced, didn't see anything, so I'm like, I'm a showman, don't care. Let's go.
I don't think the 5 second rule applies to things that aren't food, because there's no reason to put it back in your mouth at that point. You can clean it off.
Let me see this thing. This thing, not dirty at all. Look at it. Clean.
Don't put it in your mouth. You better
I'll
not.
put it in my mouth.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't.
I really scrubbed that against the floor.
I know you're a showman and everything.
Don't
do it, Chris.
Is the show still on?
Don't do it. Don't do it, Chris.
You know what? Go ahead and do
Hold
it,
on.
showman.
Do it during Buzz the Tower.
You better
Let
not.
me refer to our DraftKings contract.
Don't
Don't
do
do
it.
it. Don't do it. Don't do
Chris.
it. They'll say we've changed.
Just
No,
keep watching.
Chris.
Chris, that's too close, Chris.
I told the story before. I never throw up on flights. The last time I threw up on a flight was I was watching. Was it Dominique eat the picture of Stugotz's
Yes,
family?
I was throwing up, and then it became sort of contagious.
I threw up watching it on a
No,
flight.
it's disgusting.
Don't do it, Chris.
Bill, no, don't do this.
You think I'm afraid of this thing, though?
No.
I just need you guys to
Don't
acknowledge
do
that I
this.
will. I won't do it. If you don't want me to do it,
won't.
No.
This
No,
is,
Mike, stop doing that, Mike.
he said I
Chris,
won't.
Why do you
No.
want to do disgusting things?
I don't want to
No,
do
don't
it.
don't go
Do
to
it.
Ron.
Is
His hand
there
is
time
shaking.
left in this show, Hawk?
Oh yeah, there's time.
Is the
baby.
show on?
Show is on.
His hand is
Don't be a
shaking.
Wow.
feel good about that.
A lot of fibers.
I feel good about that.
You know what? That's
Showman.
I hate to
Showman.
Showman.
Mike scrubbed
Whiteman.
the floor with
Yeah.
that wipe.
Hugh
Like,
Jackman
just
over here,
is-
Showman.
Oh,
I didn't know I was going up against a showman.
Anyone want a bite?
Gracious, man.
No, I'm good.
This is why, man. This is what
Ah,
happens.
this is fun. Back row Chris, I am back.
Hijinks.
According to Transformers Wiki, Panther was a maximal ground soldier and somewhat of an oddball.
Oh,
An
oddball.
oddball.
Monday through Thursdays. DraftKings Network. Wherever you get podcasts.
You good, bro?
There's
You
no
know,
reason.
I wanted in my mind it was a switcheroo. There was another one that he switched up, and I was like, no, I mean you were looking at him the whole time.
I mean,
There were no switcheroos.
Mike scrubbed the floor with that.
He might have stomped on it.
So,
That's Dan. Don't throw up, please. Don't throw up.
gosh, Chris.
Dan gives good throw up sound though.
Yeah, he does.
Chris is going to be spreading.
That's not
MRSA
just a
around
sound.
No, I
the
know. I'm just
studio
saying
now.
though, like that.
Give him that
You're putting
can. It's
everyone
really
else
happening.
in danger now. The germs you're taking on
Wash it down with a little blizzard.
is now exposing everybody else to it.
Wash it down.
Aaliyah, Boston Market.
My eyes are watering. This must be what it's like to try and hold it from farting on a plane.